Okay, let's do one of these puppies together. Come onto your hands and knees. Make sure your knees are right under your hips and check that you're pushing through the palm, the knuckles and the fingers so that the heel of your hand doesn't take all your weight and your wrists don't get super angry as we work through this. I want you to start with a global cat-cow like we talked about. So I want you to extend everything into cow, and then everything comes into flexion or cat. Do that one more time. It'd be a really good idea if you want to get some feedback about where you're moving well and where you're maybe not moving well, to take a video of yourself doing this and taking a look to see where is curving and where is not curving when you do this. Understanding also that if my lumbar spine naturally curves this way, which is what it does, it curves this way, that when I round it, it's not necessarily going to get as round as my thoracic spine, but it should not be, as we're here, it should not be flat or even in a little flexion. It should match the same general shape that I'm trying to create here, which is the cow, tail up. All right, so let's go back to cat. Round everything. Push the floor away, or push your chest away from the floor. The shoulder blades need to stay pushing apart throughout this whole thing so that we don't mistake their movement for spinal movement. They are different. They move on your rib cage. We want just the spine to move here. So tail's tucked, chin's tucked, the center of our body is being pulled up. Our shoulder blades are pushing apart. This is our start position. And now we're just gonna, instead of moving everything at once, just move this very first joint at the base of your spine. I know the spine is serpentine. It may not move in just one joint, but that's what we're gonna visualize and that's what we're gonna move. So untuck your tail. Let's see some Instagram booty here. And then start to move up to the next joint. Pull that joint down toward the floor or open up this side of the body. And then the next joint. Keep pushing the shoulder blades apart. Keep rounding the upper back until it's time, till your upper back's turned, then the next joint. So we just got done with the lumbar spine. Now we're moving into the thoracic spine. So maybe you can think about what's moving. It's right below the bra strap if you're wearing one. Continue pulling forward. This is where my action changes from kind of a push to a pushing and pulling. So I'm drawing my palms down and into the floor as I start to draw my sternum forward, or my lumbar, my thoracic spine into extension. And then last but not least, the easiest of all, the neck. Just go as far as you can without eliciting any pinchy pain. Okay, you're in your cow, did it. Now let's start again at the base of the spine and move back up again. Check before you go that your shoulder blades are still pushing away from each other and you haven't sunken down into this position, or that your elbows are bent. Push hard, and then against that tug of the sternum forward, start to tuck the tail under. That's our first joint, and then roll up one more notch. Keep pulling through the floor with the palms. Keep lifting the chin. Keep drawing the sternum forward. Next joint, and literally go this slow. This is not a practice round. This is how fast you should always move through this drill, or you're gonna miss something. Okay, next spot. And we're moving into the thoracic spine. Keep pushing. It's getting a little easier now. You should be feeling like you're pushing away, pushing through the floor again instead of sort of doing that pulling through. And my head is moving, but it's just because my thoracic spine is flexing. And then we get to the last bit where your chin tucks. Whew, all right. So that was one rep. So as you can see, there's no cheating. There's no getting out of moving for those parts that don't usually do the movement. So that's why this practice is so valuable, because we're getting nervous system connection. We are getting more control of each of those little bits. Often, it's somewhere in here where we're not getting a lot of movement. We're working on getting more movement into those parts of our spine and making everything we do more efficient and reducing our injury risk and getting ourselves stronger in all those positions so that we can do more everywhere else with everything else in life, workouts and beyond. All right, thanks for joining me.